Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com, and I put a video out yesterday, and in it I actually thought it would be cool to discuss some ideas about flexible dieting that may be a bit confusing for some people. It was actually one of the comments that I left, and I thought on my Instagram page, and I thought, you know, it's a pretty diverse topic, the idea of flexible dieting, and it means different things to different people. It meant something different to me when I first started doing it. The term flexible dieting for some might actually mean not being that flexible, because before that style of dieting, they just ate whatever the hell they wanted, or they didn't worry about what they were eating. So then it becomes inflexible, right? So, but the specific thing that I wanted to talk about is something that comes up with clients quite a bit. And I like doing these type of videos because I feel like if my clients are asking these questions, these are also questions that are probably coming up in other people's lives. And so perhaps I can provide some value there for you guys. So let's start with the idea of flexible dieting and how we set it up. I set up my programs with macronutrient and fiber goals for a day. And then I provide what I consider to be optimal meal timing and macros for each meal for each person. Now within that, there is a great deal of flexibility. If someone wants to eat twice a day or 5 times a day, I'm willing to help them try to set up their goals ideally for those types of meals. What do we do if we just want to overeat? Because sometimes you have something that's going to happen, an event, going out, a celebration, and it's not going to fit your goals. No matter what your numbers are, you're not going to hit 50 grams of fat for that day if that's your goal. You're going to go way over. You might even double that. So in these situations, what usually happens, especially on like a restrictive diet plan, what usually happens is people just say, fuck it, and it's literally called the fuck it approach, and they just don't give a shit for the rest of the day. They're just going to eat whatever they want because they've already gone over, so let's just stay over and not have to stress about it. I'd like to offer a different solution. The idea that our macros only matter for a 24-hour period is something I think we can tweak. 24-hour macros are great for targets for your day, for goals, but they're not the end of the world. If you're over or under on a certain macronutrient group, what do you do to balance that out? Is there an approach that can best be handled? I'd like to give a little credit here to Eric Helms because when I was spending some time with him, he actually brought something to my attention and I thought it was a great idea. I would tend to have my clients focus on a 48-hour window, right? So let's say they go 20 grams of fat over one day. I would say, hey, let's work on going 20 grams under the next day. But what I've discovered is there's an even better approach. All right, so let's say you go out and you blow macros out the window. I would still like it to be tracked. I would still like it to be accountable. If for no other reason, then it provides data, right? It provides a reference, because if you don't track and you like or don't like the results, you have no way of knowing what you did. And even estimating is fine. Even if you just use the blank nutrition value that you find from a website. It's not like if you go out to eat at a restaurant and you follow the nutrition numbers that they give you, that's actually what you get, because there's going to be a great variation from dish to dish in most commercial restaurants, right? But it's going to give you at least some insight into what you're looking at. So let's say you go out and you're 70 grams of fat over and 100 grams of carbs over. What I would suggest doing in that instance is actually taking the 70 grams of fat and pulling 10 off the next 7 days. So if you're at 50, for the next 7 days, you could go to 40, right? That would allow you to eat out, not feel like you've made a mistake, because what I fear is non-compliance, because once you feel like you've messed up, you feel like it can't be undone, and you have a feeling of failure. And once you have a feeling of failure, it just kind of compounds itself. It's kind of like, you know, anything in life. You don't want it to compound. You want to have a solution and feel like you've done the right thing. So if you go way over on a macro group balance it out over 3, 4, 5 days, depending on how much it's gone over. You can also do a little bit of an exchange. So let's say you have a large amount of fat for the day that you want to consume and your carbs are pretty high. You can lower your carbs. Now, the caloric value of fat is more than 2 to 1 of carbs, so you're going to have to do a little bit of math to try to get the numbers right. But if you can keep your caloric goal for the day kind of close, then you're doing just fine, right? And now this is all specific to your goals. If you are months or weeks out from a physique competition and your goal is to get on stage with the best physique, I wouldn't recommend anything this drastic, but this is just from a general guidelines perspective on what we want to do on a day-to-day basis in our lives. Granted, as much as I like to track and know what's going on, I don't hold myself so accountable that if my wife or my son or my family, this weekend was Father's Day and it was my father-in-law's 60th birthday. So we went to a baseball game, I ate a hot dog and a foot long, and I didn't care. I don't care. I'll balance it out the rest of the week. This week I've just been eating a little bit less this last couple days. No big deal. And it doesn't hurt me. Doesn't no harm, no foul, because at the end of the day, I understand that it's the consistency over a long period of time that's going to benefit me, not being exact every single day. So you have those options. Another question that I always get from clients is, hey coach, if I was under on my macros, what do I do? Do I add them back in? So here's my thoughts on that. If you're under on protein, I don't feel there's a benefit to adding it back in the next day, because protein spikes protein synthesis, right? So I'm not so worried about protein. But if you're under on carbs or fats, I would add those in over the next couple days and kind of bring those numbers back up. So that's it, guys. I hope this was a good explanation on how you can be flexible even within flexible dieting, how you can stay on track and have an untracked meal or have a cheat meal or whatever you want to call it. I hate the word cheat because it implies that you're doing something bad or wrong, right? And we're not doing anything wrong as long as we're being accountable and being honest with ourselves. There's nothing wrong with it. So anyway, guys, I hope that helps. This is Paul from ProPhysique.com. If you have any questions or comments or video topics you're interested in, please comment below. I love new subscribers, so please subscribe if you enjoy the content and you would like to see more videos of this type. It is a really nice day in Florida, so I actually had to step outside. I'll show you just how beautiful it is today. Beautiful and sunny. Look at this weather. And it's not humid today. The difficulty with Florida is usually the humidity is through the roof, but it's not even humid today. So anyway, guys, I hope that was helpful, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and talk to you soon. All right, bye.